Hello. Let's see. Here we are. All right. Welcome, everybody. I hope that you are having a fantastic summer so far and enjoyed your vacations. If you are on vacations or that you had great vacations, if you already had them, as myself. Sadly, I'm back. I would have liked to have a longer vacation, to be honest. But yeah, and especially since they have sucked because I've been sick the whole time. But anyway, let's let me see. We'll put a little bit of just give me a second. Okay. Put some cozy fire. All right. Yeah, sorry for a very sloppy beginning and that I'm a little bit late, but again, just came back from vacation and I'm a little bit more rusty than usually. So yeah, as I was saying, I'm back and I had a little bit of time to push a little bit farther the Inquisitor that we started last stream. I only had time to paint the face or start with a rough sketch. And since then, yeah, I had time to do a little bit more and block out a little bit of the pose and and yeah, the body. And yeah, I will continue doing that because there's still a lot to do. But yeah, we'll see. So the previous sequential illustration that I started, I haven't touched it. Let me just open it just to show you, just in case. Let me just change 1 second the screen, because as you know, I might Photoshop may show something that shouldn't be shown, and yeah, you can never be too careful. Where is it? Yeah, here it is. The Crusader. How are you doing, Miguel? Been a while since I have caught you live. Hey, man. Welcome to the stream. And yeah, well, I don't know. Maybe it's been, yeah, a long time, for sure. But yeah, pretty good. Just came back from vacation, and yeah, ready to paint a little bit more. So, so yeah, how about you? How it's been? Been painting anything? Doing some cool stuff? All right. So yeah, so this is the Chaos Space Marine that we been working in the latest streams, but I became a little bit tired, so we are just putting this on a little break to jump into something else for my own sake, so I can work on it with fresher eyes. So we put this on the side, even since it's still not finished, and I will continue with this Inquisitor. And the idea is the same as a first sequential illustration, in this case focus on this character, an Imperial Inquisitor. I decided, I started last stream with this one just like completely randomly because I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I think but that time was when the first new trailers for Darktide were being released to the public, and I was so hyped. As you may know already, I am about this project. So I thought that, yeah, let's do something. I felt compelled to do something within the theme of Darktide, which is about the Inquisition, right? So on that note, I have to say that this that I'm doing here has nothing to do with Darktide, just in case, all right? It has absolutely nothing to do with it. It's just this personal project that we are doing here during the live streams about sequential illustrations, nothing else. Just with the theme of an Inquisitor, all right? Just in case. Again, this is another thing that you can never be too careful. So yeah, nothing to do with Darktide, even though it's an Inquisitor and I'm working on Darktide. But yeah, so don't read anything from this. All right. All right. The Crusader doing gesture drawings and stuff right now, but probably gonna start working on some 40k stuff soon. Nice. Well, and gesture drawings are so fun to do and so important, right? I actually should do a little bit more of that myself. Sorry. All right, where are we? Let me see. So for this Inquisitor, as you can see, I decided to show him in very much like geared for some action. So and wearing some sort of power armor. So that should indicate that he is a pretty, at least in my mind, he's a quite important or powerful Inquisitor. And maybe very well renowned. So again, just going back to this idea of the sequential illustrations, that we will show a very anticlimactic end for this character that has, yeah, that is far from the glory that you would expect from a character of this type and how normally they are portrayed in 40k stories, just to reinforce the grim dark, right? So yeah, completely geared for battle. So maybe he's not so much into cover or how do you say, covered work, and he's more blunt and direct, or his style could be. I mean, all the options, right, are endless in all the options that I could go for, all the type of Inquisitor. But as I said, I want to do kind of like a little bit flamboyant and yeah, maybe flamboyant is not the correct word, but but I mean, he's wearing a power armor. He's going into action and battle, so he's not so much of undercover work that he's doing at the moment, right? So maybe he just he likes just to use a lot of minions and and take armies to fulfill his own objectives, right? And he likes to be in the thick of it. So I was thinking, is he? Do I want him to be some sort of psyker or not? That's why I was maybe holding this as a psychic staff or of some kind. Could be a big sword. But I'm kind of leaning towards at least that he's from the Ordo Hereticus, because for some reason I feel that they are the most, in my mind at least, the more extremes, the more with the most zeal and devotion, and probably the most radical as well, in terms of his approach. Fanatic, that was the proper word, not radical. The Crusader. Also, quick question: how's your experience balancing normal non-art related jobs with art? I'm currently a bit stressed about being burned out and not having time to do art with my normal job. Well, to be honest, the Crusader, I have worked all my life with art. So I have never had to balance between non-art and art. So I cannot give you any tips from my experience. Without the experience, though, what I could suggest is to really, I mean, I can totally understand being burned out from work, or getting back home and not having the energy to work on art and stuff like that. And something that, even though it's not the same, but perhaps it has a little bit of that, is that, and in which I have experience with this, is just working on a lot of projects and stuff like that I really didn't care that much, and then struggling or wanting to do things at home and having to deal that maybe I don't have the creative energy anymore, because I spend it all at work and not having time to do my personal projects and stuff like that. So maybe it could be related a little bit in that sense. So what I have done in that regard is like, all right, so of course it is very important to rest and to and if you feel that you really need to rest and have a break, so meaning that when you get home and you are very tired and you don't feel for painting or drawing because you are exhausted or whatever, then I think it's important just to listen to that voice and just to take a break. That being said, and again, I go to my experience with personal projects. So again, it's not the same thing, but at least I hope that it gives you some tools there. What I have done through my years of working in this is to really put a mental barrier between, okay, I need to nourish the time that I spend working on my personal stuff when I'm home. And for that, I need to prepare myself mentally that, okay, maybe I'm tired, but this is going to be so fun that it doesn't matter that I'm tired, because it's something it's something that I'm going to really enjoy. So kind of not looking at it as an extra burden of something that I need to do, an extra duty on top of the lot of the pile of the normal work and other stuff that you need to do during the day. So not an extra thing on top of everything that you have to do. Just think of it and try to mentalize yourself that, okay, that is not an extra duty. This is something that I'm gonna nourish and that I'm really looking forward and really enjoy it. And of course, I mean, sometimes still you need to rest, and that there is no way around it, and you need to take a break. But yeah, so that's kind of how I have done it so far, and it works. And sometimes you need to push yourself a little as well, right? And that's kind of, it's like everything, like training, and stuff like that. Is getting the routine. So it's the harder thing is just to make that little push to force you just to do it. But once you are in it, it's like it just goes with the flow because you are having a lot of fun. At least that's how I have been doing it. Of course, it's different. Maybe if you are, I don't know, maybe you are I mean, the art aspect is more studying, and it's a little bit more heavy on you because it's more, you are learning and stuff like that. But still, I would say that just take that as a hobby and something that it's to relax your mind, even though you might be working mentally, intellectually, and etc., but something that you are doing for the fun of it and the pleasure of it. And yeah, so that's what I can say. It is not like mind-blowing or anything, and it's not exactly your experience, but yeah, it might help you a little. I don't know. For me, it has worked quite well. Frederic, hello Miguel. How was your vacation? Well, it was all right, but it wasn't great, I can say. For all of you that are Warhammer 40k nerds, as myself, you will understand. This is, I've been touched by. I've been. How do you say in English? I've been blessed. I've been blessed by Father Nurgle, and I've been sick the whole time with a cold, with allergy, and to put the sherry on the cake with COVID at the end. So today is actually the first day that I'm feeling quite all right with COVID. So yeah, it's been quite a it's been crap in that sense. Yeah. On the other hand, it's been good because I went to Spain after 4 years because of the pandemic. So there was a lot of friends that I didn't see in many years. Also, all my relatives. So in that sense, was fantastic. It was very nice. But yeah, I could not enjoy it as much as I could have because I've been sick the whole trip really. So how about you, Frederic? Had you had any vacations yet? David De Luca, hey Miguel, it's been a while. How are you doing? What's the narrative behind this piece? Hey man, welcome to the stream. As I was saying, this will be done, or I mean, the aim for this guy is again the same idea with the sequential illustration for this guy, but yeah, a different character just to have a little break from the previous guy, even though he's not finished. And he's an Inquisitor, right? So the idea so far is that he must be a very powerful Inquisitor, very powerful with a lot of resources, very well known, perhaps feared. And I'm thinking that he should be a little bit not completely sound. That to a certain degree, he's a little bit mad. So that's why I was thinking like Ordo Hereticus, so like kind of like a witch hunter, and he likes to burn heretics a little bit too much, something like that. So I was thinking, yeah, he has a point of madness, and yeah, so very powerful, very with a lot of resources. So he's not very subtle as an Inquisitor. And he's a little bit he likes to show off, basically. So that's why he is carrying a very like to show this level of resources and his power. Maybe he's a Grand Inquisitor, or perhaps. So he's wearing a power armor, right? Which is a quite powerful piece of gear. And he's not dressing very modestly. So he will have a lot of ornaments and quite baroque, I'm thinking. So just to show how powerful and influential he is. Right? Maybe he's a good politician in that sense, right? So he wants to communicate visually how powerful he is by how he's dressing and the gear that he has and stuff like that. So that's kind of the idea so far that I have. A little bit mad. But if now I'm just answering myself, or I mean, I'm just thinking loud, but if we decide that he's Ordo Hereticus and kind of like a witch hunter, then he can, I mean, technically he could be, but it kind of doesn't fit that well. Being a psyker himself, right? Because that would mean that he's a witch himself. So I think it would fit much better if he's not a psyker. So maybe that helps to reinforce that disdain that he has for psychers, right? And why he is chasing them with such fervor and fanatism. So maybe he is, now that I'm thinking, that he has a lot of psychic protection amulets and inscriptions and stuff like that, just to protect himself from psychic powers. Right? That makes sense. And especially if he's a very resourceful in terms of all the resources that he has available to him, then it would make sense that he would be able to afford having a lot of those type of things. The Crusader, thanks for the info. Really appreciate it. Well, man, you're welcome. It's so little. You make a good point about cherishing the moment and removing the stress factor of art needing to be a necessary duty. Big thanks, man. Well, again, my pleasure. True, I have been drawing for a long time and I'm okay at it, but still very much a neophyte compared to the likes of you and other big names. Still super fun though. Well, fantastic to hear, man. And again, yeah, yeah, I think it makes a big difference to kind of at least it has worked for me to really structure that in my head that okay, now I'm gonna have fun. You know, it's like instead of, let's say, playing a video game, which can be super fun, I'm just gonna, or reading a book, or you know, so I'm just gonna have fun, but I'm gonna be painting or drawing, and yeah, and at least for me it works. And maybe sometimes it's tougher on the very beginning, but once you are at it, it just go with the flow. But again, I also insist that okay, sometimes you really need to have a break and yeah, and have a rest. So that's also very important. I mean, I think it is very it is a very popular thing to say now. Yeah, you have to work hard and work, and you need to be the best at it, and the only way to do that is just by working and not sleeping and just continue working on or whatever. And yeah, sure, working hard, it's a pretty cool thing, but resting is as important, believe it or not. So yeah, I think it's definitely having breaks is important as well. So. Dinab, hello there. Hello, welcome to the stream. How are you doing? Frédéric, eh ben, I'm sorry for you and your vacations. Yeah, me too. For me, it was cool. I continue on my portfolio. I create concept art about my Dark Angel. Front view, side view, props, etc. First time I draw a bolter. So much fun. It's Comic-Con this weekend. I will show my portfolio and I will begin my class at Saint Studio. Nice. Well, man, I hope that everything goes fine. Luis Ramon. Hi, Miguel. How are you? It's a pleasure as usual. Well, my pleasure is mine, Luis. Always that you say hello and are around. It's always a pleasure. How are you doing, man? How is it going with your vehicles concepts? Dinab, fine. I have an art test to pass this week too. Oh, right. Exciting. Can you share what is the test for? Very curious. See how important it is to flip. Oh my goodness. it's quite insane how painfully useful flipping the painting is, right? And painfully because it shows all the things that are not working. All right. By the way, some news. So as you know, I'm pretty close to, if you are following me on social media, I'm pretty close to start my Patreon, finally. And I don't think I'm, to be honest, I don't think I'm fully prepared. But I decided that, I mean, I'm never going to feel completely prepared. And at the end, I will never start. I always find excuses to think that I'm not ready. So I said, fuck it. I just go for it. And regardless if I'm prepared or not, I'm just going to do it. So it's 11 days left for my Patreon to start. So because of that, and as I mentioned in our previous streams, I will dedicate next stream as a sort of presentation for my Patreon and my project. That's the reason why I am opening the Patreon. And as a sort of Q&A, so you can ask as many questions as you want regarding the Patreon, how it's going to work, about the project. Yeah, so like this, you are well informed in case you are interested. And you can then after that decide, yeah, I might consider supporting or not. So yeah, next stream I might paint a little as well, but it will mostly be focused on short presentation for my project and the Patreon and Q&A. So please, if you are interested on my projects, don't miss the live stream, because yeah, it will be a great opportunity to ask me questions about the Patreon and how it's gonna work and all the things that I have planned for it. So very exciting, I have to say. Equally excited and terrified. Considering that this is a lifelong passion project, and finally, I'm taking the steps to do it. So and for those of you that don't know about it, without saying much, because I will talk about it in length next stream. My project, it's a science fiction universe, very grim and dark, grounded and mature, and it turns around the theme of space pirates. So the pirates that I will be presenting in my project are not like the washed version of Hollywood of pirates, but the real pirates, how real pirates are. and how nasty things can be for them and for their victims as well. So yes, next stream, Patreon, and my project Q&A. Also continuing with small announcements or my course at CGMA, the next term start the 10th, so in five days, and there's still openings. So in case you are interested in joining my course, narrative illustration and characters at CGMA, you still have time to join to start for the next term. And last but not least, regarding the tutorial series of how to paint and draw Space Marines, so I'm planning to release the first video at the end of this month. I'm just waiting on the subtitles to be ready, thanks to the amazing collaboration and contribution by Juan Toledano and Peter, that both of them normally are in the stream. So if they just show up, please give them a big thanks, because it's a lot of work. But yeah, they are helping me out to with the subtitles for the tutorial. And yeah, so it's almost there. Also very excited about that, because of course, as you know, I've been working on it for more than now a year and a half. So it's been a very long time, and now finally we'll be able to share with you. So it's a very nice feeling when you have spent so much time on something and effort, just this feeling of accomplishment, that from nothing you have created something. So feels nice. Do I want like a slim, low leg armor or just more the type of Space Marine? I think I will go with slim, just to go away from the Space Marine silhouettes. subject and topic that we'll be touching in depth in the tutorial, by the way. Dinab, I have one for Games Workshop and one for Charm Mob, Shark Mob, I guess. Unless Charm Bob is a new studio. All right, nice. Very excited indeed. Nice. Well, I can understand. Nice. Well, best of luck. I have a lot of friends working there in Shark Mob, ex-colleagues of mine from Massive Entertainment. And so I'm guessing you are making something for concept art, right? May I ask who have you talked to in Shark Mob, just to see if I know them? Has it been Tom by any chance? You know, I really don't know how to type the oh, there you go. Yes, Shark Mob. Yes. And Games Workshop as well. Nice. Well, best of luck anyway. It is, I understand, exciting and a lot of pressure. But for Games Workshop, is it for concept art as well or for illustration? And is it in the case for Games Workshop is for in-house position? And sorry that I'm bombarding you with questions, but I find it very interesting, especially about Games Workshop, because I get so many questions about how to get in contact with Games Workshop, how to do to get started to work with Games Workshop. And the thing is that at the moment I'm a little bit disconnected from that side of things, so I actually not very familiar of how things are at the moment with Games Workshop. I know that some months ago, or maybe half a year or a year, they were publishing some openings on the studio publicly, so they were asking for tests. Oh, well, and another following question. Do you live in Malmö by any chance? Frogs, I have done something dangerous a few days ago. Ooh, frogs. By the way, welcome back. About some Warhammer and paints. Ooh, that's dangerous indeed. It's like crack or cocaine, you know, heroin. How will I financially recover from this blunder? Well, if you start, there's the possibility that you never stop. Just saying. It's a very addictive hobby. Fantastic hobby, by the way. But addictive and expensive, sadly. But yeah, dangerous indeed, frogs. What have you bought, if I might ask? What type of miniatures or box or what is it? Schmovitz, congrats, looking forward to it. Thank you. Well, I guess that's was to me. I don't know. If it's regarding the Patreon and the project and all of that, then yeah, thanks. Don't miss next stream then. Liz Ramon, thanks a lot. I'm appreciating so much your kind words. Now I'm preparing more boxes for my moving. Oh my goodness. Oof. It's a headache, yes, man. I feel your pain. I'm planning to do more vehicles from our portfolio, and several days ago a small radio broadcast made me a sort of interview in radio in Italian. Nice. That's very cool. About my passions and desire to become a concept designer. I will show you if you want the video of the interview when they give me. Yeah, sure. Would love to. That would be very nice. Where were you moving, by the way? Is it going to be far away or on your same city? But still, regardless, any move is such a pain in the ass. I hate it. Hate it so much. I'm not sure. The head is completely where it should be in relation with the armor. Sorry. That's still the the remaining side effects of COVID, by the way. Let's see. If I do this and yeah, I think this is what? It wasn't there before. Before it was there. Yeah, there you go. Oh my goodness, it's linked. God's sake. Yeah, that's why it moved back. So before it was there, but now it's here. Yeah, I think this is more correct. I mean, I want to I mean, it's one of those tricky things with power armors, right? Since they are so bulky that it's difficult to follow the proper anatomy of the person inside and where to, in this case, show where the head is in relation to the body. You see, it's pretty often that you make these mistakes where yeah, the head looks like it's in its proper place, but if you strip the the armor, then maybe the neck is very stretched or doesn't has a neck or stuff like that. So it's things that you need to think in order to make a good representation in that sense. And it's tricky. I mean, I make plenty of mistakes about that myself. But at least it's something that I think it is important to be aware of and try to minimize as much as possible. Yeah, and I think this is a good example of here at the moment. If I would have to, give me a second. If I would have to follow where his body is, you could say, I mean, his arms are here, right? So you see that there is it feels a little bit stretched. While here I feel that it makes more sense. Now there is a proper distance for the neck. And still, perhaps not completely, but a little bit much better. There's Ramon. Miguel, so interested in your Patreon. Well, very glad to hear that. If I'm honest, obviously, because the more people are interested and decide to join Patreon, of course, the more time I will be able to spend working on the project. So that's fantastic to hear. But still, I want you guys to really listen and see what I have to offer, and I don't want you to feel that you have to support me. So there has to be no pressure whatsoever. If you decide to join, it's because you find it interesting, and yeah. So don't feel obliged to join just because of you come to the stream, and yeah. But if you do, I will be very, very happy, for sure. So yeah. Thanks, man. Of course, I think the project is super interesting. So yeah, I really hope that you find interesting as well. Frederic, good luck. Thanks, man. I will need it. David DeLuca, me too. I started recently at Drukhari Army. So cool. Nice. At Drukhari Army. They are so nasty. They are a very, very, very interesting faction. And very fucked up, if I may say so. You see, another thing, for instance, with the anatomy, I mean, it is important for me to pay attention to the fact that this guy, he is not a space marine, right? So if the power armor, it's bulky to a certain degree, it still cannot have the same proportions as a space marine, because the proportions of the space marines are not human-like. They are a little bit deformed, or very much deformed. Again, another topic that we will see in length on the tutorial of how to paint and draw space marines. But since in this case, this fellow here is not a space marine, but a normal human. For instance, the arms should be shorter. mean, the attire of this guy need to speak of the power and of the Inquisition, and maybe he's not that strong physically, right? But the but the power armor should give him that sense of strength and power that he might not have by himself. So he still need to look bulky, give some bulkiness to his figure. Something that could be interesting is just to make the power armor a little bit archaic, and or to show a little bit of the mechanisms as well, like some of the older patterns of Space Marine power armors as well. So maybe you can see a little bit of the servos outside, and some more cabling. But to as a minimum as well, because as I was saying, he is gonna supposed to be some very powerful Inquisitor, right? Maybe a Grand Inquisitor. So still, the armor cannot look primitive, or I mean, it need to be rich and yeah, difficult to find the balance there. But yeah, we'll see. Frogs, it all started with me listening to the Adeptus Mechanicus album. Oh, yeah, that's a very powerful album. By the way, I don't know if you have listened anything yet about it, but I haven't myself the whole thing. But some of the tunes for it are just insanely good. So I'm super hyped for the soundtrack of Darktide. It is very different from other 40k games. I think it has a lot of electronic music. But yeah, it looks absolutely amazing. So I think the soundtrack for Darktide is gonna be right there on side by side with the one from Mechanicus, which is brilliant. I love it. So yeah, we'll see. I might be wrong, but at least from the tunes that I have heard so far, are just insanely good. So Frogs, the question is, because of that, is it something Mechanicus related, the miniatures that you have bought? Schmoothfeet, yes, to your Patreon and IP and the next stream, all the things. Right, that's good to hear, man. Thanks a lot. Frogs, tempted to buy Adeptus Mechanicus Belisarius Skull. All right, there you go. But I must stop before it's too late. As they say, the flesh is weak. So yeah. But is this gonna be your first attempt to paint a miniature, or do you have previous experience? Because if that is the case, I mean, even though I haven't painted any miniature for many years, I have plenty of experience with it because I've dedicated years painting miniatures myself. Actually, I have some pretty close here. So I would recommend you just to go with something simple. But I mean, of course, just do whatever you feel. But if you are a complete noob, I would definitely suggest you recommend you to go with something simple first. And enjoy as much as you can, because it's super fun. In your guilty pleasure after having spent the money on it. Luis, thanks for everything. Yes, indeed, since I have a lot of moving, and I hope this in our new house will be the last one. Well, I hope so too, man. Moves are the worst. It's at South Milan in Treviglio, more or less 50 kilometers from Milan. Is the new house. Nice. You know what? I think I mentioned on stream that in February I went to Egypt, right, to scuba dive on this absolutely insane shipwreck. But before going there, we made a stop in Milan. Well, not exactly in Milan, north of Milan, because we had to meet my sister-in-law there before we were traveling all together. So, I mean, I was staying there for just one night though. But if not, I would have give you knowing a heads up to take some beers or something. That would have been very nice, Luis. I can't remember the name of the town, but it's in Lago Maggiore. But yeah. Frogs, I won't play Warhammer, just want to paint minis. Well, yeah, I got that. But that's you don't need to play the game just to fall into the trap. And I would say that that's even more addictive than playing. But I think it's an absolutely beautiful hobby. I love it. It's just I don't have the time. But you know, now with Dante, when he grows older, I definitely would love to introduce him to the hobby and teach him to paint miniatures and stuff like that. Would be so fun. Aaron Brand. Hey, I just recently stumbled upon your art and just wanted to thank you for all the inspiration I have gotten from it. I love it. Well, sorry. Can I ask you what drawing pad size you use? Well, Aaron, thanks a lot for such kind words and sharing that. It's very nice of you to say, and well, what can I say? Thank you, and welcome to the stream, by the way. Yes. And what drawing pad size I'm using? I'm using A3. It's a Intuos Pro that I'm using. So the big one. Techie Marines. Jasper Kidd is a genius when it comes to soundtracks. Darktide is going to sound amazing. Welcome to the stream, by the way. And yeah, I totally agree. Yeah, he's a great artist. So yeah, the tunes that I have heard for Darktide, that they sounds like some satanic cult. At least that's kind of the vibe that it's giving me. I think it's so good. I don't know. It's like a choir chanting, you know, like if it was for some satanic cult or something like that. I don't know. I think it's awesome and so fitting for the game in such a fresh way. I don't know. It's like the mainstream to go with anything 40k related, you know, like with this orchestra and choirs, epic cinematic music, right? And yeah, all of that is cool, but at the same time it can become a little bit just boring, right? So I really appreciate the fact that he is trying to do something fresh and different in that sense. So yeah, very much looking forward to hear the whole thing. Andrea, do you do portfolio review? Well, you mean during the stream? No, I don't. I might offer that or do something like some special events at some point perhaps, but no, not really. The reason for that is because if I do a portfolio review, I want to do some quality portfolio review. I just don't want to give crappy advice in and you know in one go. I think people deserve to if you decide to do that, to do something to give quality, right, and to offer some good advice, and for that you need time and dedicate some good quality time to each portfolio, and to have a proper conversation as well. I think that is also very important in order to give accurate feedback and appropriate feedback for a portfolio review. And the sad truth is that I don't have the time for it, and I know that as well, that if I open the gates, I will be overwhelmed with the requests for portfolio reviews, and I would, yeah. So I would love to, because it's something that I enjoy quite a lot, and I have done that in the past in the events, in conferences and stuff like that, and it's something that I really enjoy. But it takes a lot of time, and sadly I don't have the time to do it. So I'm sorry, but no. I don't discard at some point to do something, maybe in certain formats. We'll see. I don't discard it once again, but no, don't. don't expect it. Basically, if it happens, it happens. But yeah. And one of the reasons, the reason why I'm saying this is because sadly, I see a lot of artists giving portfolio reviews in a very rushed way, and without knowing the context of what is the portfolio for, who is the, I mean, you need to have you need contexts to give proper feedback for your portfolio. What are your objectives? What are your, a lot of things, and I see that people just give away a lot of portfolio reviews and feedback without knowing all those things, and that results in, my humble opinion, to a lot of misleading and giving wrong feedback. So yeah, it is not and giving feedback on a portfolio is something very serious and important for the person that you are giving it. So if you are not gonna put the energy and the proper quality to it, then don't do it, because you are gonna do more harm than good to that person. I see, I don't know, especially I have seen that a lot on the internet. A lot of artists with no proper professional experience giving portfolio reviews, and it's just very sad to see, because yeah, they mislead quite a lot. They say things that are assumptions, and a lot of, yeah, it is something very serious that should be taken accordingly, and yeah. And once again, in order to do that properly, you need to have quality time, and that takes a lot of time, which I don't have, sadly. Frogs. No, I got the Adeptus Mechanicus Guitari, not Belisarius Call. Ah, all right. That one is a bit too complex, I think. Yeah, okay, yeah. That was why I was saying it. And not only that, but just that if you take something a miniature that is very complex, you really want to, if you paint it, you want it to be worth it, right? The effort, and sometimes it can be very disappointing when you went for such a cool miniature and then the paint doesn't is not at the level that it deserves, right? So it's better just to practice with something simpler. But yeah, cool. And the Skitaria are very cool designs, by the way. So that's very nice. And you know, you are going to start with painting. And of course, it's not for everybody, but it tends to happen. And then you start to think, but when everything is, so, especially nowadays where everything is in plastic. When I started, everything was in made of lead. So now with everything in plastic, you can start making a lot of conversions and doing your own stuff and play with that. And that, my friend, that is pure crack. It's so addictive. Because it's so fun and you can do absolutely amazing stuff if you put the creativity at work. Yeah. That's something that I enjoy, or I used to enjoy quite a lot, the conversions. And I was quite ahead of my time when I started doing conversions. People didn't used to do that as often as they do now, which has been very much popularized. But when I was doing it, it wasn't that popular and it was a little bit more difficult. But now with all the almost infinite amount of different miniatures and elements there are there, you can create absolutely incredible stuff just by mixing stuff from different miniatures. And yeah. Luis, so cool. Please feel absolutely free if you come back to the north of Italy. Our house is your house, and sure, for some beers or a Campari. Yes. Yeah, sure, man. Well, thanks a lot. That's very kind. But yeah. I mean, one of the things that is a little bit frustrating about this kind of medium, right? Digitally, is that you cannot meet people in person, right? So of course it's fantastic because we can still interact regardless of where we are in the globe, but it will be so cool to be able to meet you guys in person. Yeah, and Campari, nice. Man, I love Italy. Lucius, hey peeps, hello. Here it is, the one and only Lucius. How are you doing, man? Watching the Ultramarines animation is the only way to escape this hobby. Yeah, well, that's what you think. But in between every 10 frames, there's one frame that is, it says, buy more, buy more. So that's what you think. But actually it is not so much. Frogs, I'm pretty sure I have seen your art while watching Warhammer 40k Lore's videos. And yeah, eventually I will start kit bashing, but for now I will stick to the normal minis. Yeah. Yes, yeah, I'm aware that art of mine is being used on videos on YouTube, which if it's fun art, I mean, overall, it's of course it's always nice, but I have a little bit of a sore relation with this, because a lot of YouTubers, they are extremely lazy and they never refer to the artists that they from the art that they are using, which I think it's very bad. Regardless if it's official artwork or fan art, I think is the absolutely least that you should do, right? So I have a little bit of confronted feelings with that, because in one hand, well, if it's fan art, it's like, okay, it's basically it's there for the community to enjoy, right? And if it's official art, well, I don't have any rights to it. It's a Games Workshop, so I don't care. But my point is not in terms of copyright, or it's just about ethics, right? Is the absolute minimum, I think. And it doesn't take that much time, especially nowadays with the internet, to know who is the artist of the art that you are using. I mean, there are, of course, there might be from time to time some piece that it's very obscure and you really cannot find the artist, but for the most part, it's extremely easy. So I feel that it's very lazy of most of YouTubers. I mean, there are some of them that they put the time as they should to look for who is the artist of the art that they are using, and credit them, right? So yeah, I have a little bit of confronted feelings with that. Especially considering when you are using it for free, right? So it's still it becomes an important element for your content, because those videos wouldn't be the same without the visuals. To have something in those cases pretty to look at. So so yeah. Yeah, kit bashing is the best. Love it. time to flip the image again and see what happens. I want this guy to be a little bit old, not too old, but getting to an age that if it wasn't because of the power armor, he wouldn't be able to be really fighting. So I still would. I'm gonna have to spend some time on the on the head. Aaron, I need to go now. Thanks for the tip. Have a nice evening and all the best. Aaron, I don't know if you are still around, but yeah, thanks a lot for passing by and have a good one. Luis, it's so true that you're talking about miniature conversions. It's so addictive to make Chaos Space Marines conversions since I'm so addicted to make Chaos Space Marines conversions since 1996. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, conversions by that time it was not easy because there was so little plastic, if any. I cannot recall, but maybe yeah, there were some. The crappy miniatures were in plastic, basically. The cool ones were with lead. You still could do some, but I mean, yeah. I didn't do any by that time because of that. I think I made some attempts, but it was so hard and the result wasn't that good. So, yeah. Alright. Sorry. Let's see. if he has some fires. Yeah. Folks, I don't think many of them put your name on there. That's really lame, in my opinion. Yeah. You use someone art, let people know who it's from. Right. There is an emergency at home. There is 2 big insects at my wife's at our bedroom. So I need to go and hunt. I will be back if I survive. Just give me a second. I will be back. Maybe I'm missing one arm or something because it's gonna be so dangerous. I need to go. I'm back. right, I'm back. Barely survived, but I'm back. I had to fight for my life, but I managed to kill the insectoid monsters that were terrifying my wife. Well, and to be honest, it's a, it's a little bit late, so I'm just gonna hang a little bit more, but yeah, I think I will call it a night very soon. Lucius, doing good, man. Just finishing off my character design. Hope your break was nice. Well, it was alright, but it kind of sucked because I've been sick the whole time, basically, with a cold and then with COVID. So yeah, not the best vacations, I can say. But man, cool. Another character. You are rocking. Doing so many cool characters. Please don't stop sharing on the Discord. I'm really enjoying seeing everything. Luis, I really like to complicate my life since '96. I have done tons of conversions and it's my favorite part of the hobby. I have tried make with metal and resin miniatures, but plastic it's easier. Well, so you are a hardcore kit basher. Nice. Yeah, man. I mean, with plastic, it's super easy. Just a matter of your creativity to find some cool results. But technically speaking, it's pan comido. So easy. Just pim pan, toma la casito, and that's it. And you have a fantastic conversion. Frogs, gonna go. I'm gonna do some other stuff. As always, I will try to catch the stream. Good night. Good night, Frogs. I don't know if you are still here or not, but yeah, it was a pleasure seeing you. And good luck with your painting miniatures. Have fun. Tyrannid attack. Yes. There were 2 carnifexes at least. At the very least. have one of those Tyranids here. I think I need to kill that. 1 second. I will kill it later. Now, I mean, you can't... I might get attacked live. So, since you can't see me and you can't see my back, just let me know if it's approaching on my back. Dino, congrats, you became a hero to your wife. Yes, it's like those moments where you feel like a real man. You know, you protected your family, your woman from real danger. Lucius, cheers, man. You're too nice, and I'm sure Commander Dante could have dealt with those Tyranids. Well, that for sure. Yes. You are, how do you say? You are more right than you think. All right, so even though the legs, I don't want them to be extremely bulky as the Space Marines armor, but still I want to show them like I envision like a proper power armor would look like, not like for instance the Sisters of Battle power armor, which feels a little bit lame. I mean, it looks good, but it looks but at the same time lame in the sense that it doesn't feel like a proper power armor. If it's just like a traditional armor, so to speak. Frédéric, en quoi sont faites les armures Space Marines? J'essaie de leur donner la bonne texture. The armors are made of what's the word in English? Ceramite. So it's a mix between, as far as I understand, a mix as a metal with certain ceramic properties. So it's extremely resilient and hard metal. So basically, it's metal. If you are looking for a texture. Then of course you need to think in terms of the type of paint they have, because of course the paint can affect the texture and how the reflections are applied to the armor, because it can vary quite a lot, right? So like with any type of paint you apply to any surface. So then that aspect is up to you to do whatever you want to do with that. Because there are certain Space Marines armor that is going to look very polished and have a lot of reflections, right? And others are going to be more matte and barely reflect anything. So yeah, it greatly depends, but generally speaking, it's just metal, and painted on top. All right, 5 more minutes, and I'm gonna go to bed. And I'm thinking that this, the pistol, could be some sort of bolt gun, but of a very extravagant pattern, or maybe it's not even a pattern because it's maybe customized for him. They should look very how do you say, exotic. So not like the normal bolt gun that you would expect. Perhaps I'm not sure. It's something a bit different from a bolt gun, but yeah. what could be this thing? I mean, if he is not a psyker, because that was my main idea when I put stuff on his hand. But if he's not supposed to be a psyker, I mean, of course, I could make this like a big sword. That would be the easiest. But not sure if I don't know if I want it to be a sword. And I'm sure it will look pretty cool. It would fit the character. Maybe like a big chainsaw, like or something like that. I mean that he only would be able to handle it with our armor, right? Because if not, he wouldn't have the strength to hold it. But not. Yeah, maybe we could be some sort of icon. Or some sort of book with some creeds from the Imperial Truth or something like that. I don't know. What could it be? Juan Carlos Zambrano. Has tenido un bloqueo mental a la hora de crear. Desde hace una semana ando bloqueado. So, in English, for those of you that don't know Spanish, Juan is asking if if I ever had a mental blockage. I don't know if that's the proper translation into English, like a mental yeah, blockage. I don't know. I cannot find another word. I'm tired. Yeah, because he is from since a week ago, he is completely blocked mentally to create stuff. Juan, ¿te importa si te respondo en inglés? Porque hay mucha gente que no sabe español en el chat. ¿Te importa si te respondo en inglés? Lack of inspiration. Yeah, that could be. All right. Okay. Thank you. And sorry. I feel a little bit awkward asking those things, but yeah, again, since there are lots of people that doesn't. I mean, to have like a lingua franca. So since not plenty of people here doesn't know Spanish. So yeah, at least for the most part, everybody knows English. So yeah, of course, I get sometimes problems, and that is completely natural. It happens to absolutely everybody, and yeah, I don't know. At least me, when that happens, I just take a break. And if I cannot take a break, if I still need to do stuff, then I do a smaller break. I do a smaller break, and during that break I try to do the things that normally kick my inspiration. So looking at other artists, or doing the type of activities that makes me think about things to paint or draw and stuff like that. But yeah, taking a break, it is important. A little bit of what we were talking before, but it's so in fashion to talk about how much you have to be working all the time, and in order to be the best, and that resting is for losers and things of the kind. But yeah, but no, resting is extremely important, and making breaks. So yeah, take it easy. Don't think about it too much. Give you some time and get back to it, and it will be fine. And if by some reason you feel that you are still blocked, then okay, then you need to be a little bit more proactive and try to seek that inspiration yourself, because that's also another aspect to this, is like this sense old kind of way of thinking that, yeah, I'm just waiting for the inspiration to come, right? And just like it's something that there is nothing you can do about it. The muses doesn't come to me. But the reality is that it doesn't work that way. It is you that need to do the right things to get inspired. So putting yourself into a situation or doing the type of activities that kick your inspiration, that is very important to do, and to know and to recognize those things, in order to get out of those type of blockage, of those blocks, of being blocked. So yeah, if if you feel that after some time, taking a break, things still doesn't work, then yeah, be more proactive and seek that inspiration. Don't just wait for it to come by itself. Well, you weren't asking for any tips anyway, so sorry, but um, maybe you know everything about it. But yeah, I definitely get blocked sometimes. That is natural. All right, people. I think that's it for today. Um, I'm looking for inspiration by seeing other works, by other artists, reading, listening to music, and nothing. Thanks, bro. I think that's it. I need to take a break. Yeah, man. Sometimes we get saturated. Sometimes it's just as simple as we are just tired mentally, and we just need to take a break. Yeah, that is, yeah, it is very important. So yeah, I hope that helps. David DeLuca, do you have any advice on posing characters in a believable way? Maybe you could recommend an artist or a book to study. Thank you so much. Yes, I have plenty of advice about that. But that's a very long subject to talk about. If anything, the first thing that I can say that comes to mind, and the most helpful thing that comes to mind, is to practice live drawing with a good model, of course. If it's just standing, just whatever, then yeah, it doesn't help much. But with a good model that knows how to pose, that's definitely the best way to get good at it. But yeah, sadly, David, I need to go. I'm exhausted, and I need to get up very, very early tomorrow. So please, I definitely want to answer you in more depth about it and about other stuff that you can do. So please remind me about it in next time. Well, maybe next time we're gonna be busy talking about my project and Patreon, but still, just remind me, and we can take it in length. All right. So thanks a lot, everybody, for joining once again. I'm very happy to be back and doing this with you all. I hope that you have a fantastic week and enjoy the summer as much as you can if you are in this side of the globe. If not, well, too bad, you are in the winter. So, but yeah, take care, and see you next week at the same time. Again, it will be a stream mainly dedicated as a Q&A, as a presentation for my project and Patreon. So please don't miss it. And yeah, again, thanks a lot for joining. And as always, take care, paint and draw a lot. And if you are tired of it, just take a break. Bye bye. Take care.